Hi there. I thought I would give you some more information on how to prevent losing lots of marks or marks on preparation of your balance sheet and income statement for the midterm exam. If we take a look at this balance sheet here, if you take a couple of minutes, maybe hit pause, just look at this for a minute or so and try to see where there's some errors here, and you might find yourself making these same types of errors. Hopefully you took a look and took some time to take a look at this to see where you see some problems. Some are obvious, some not so much. So let's take a look here. So number one, um, the date is wrong, so it's not for a year ending. It's at a point in time, so as at December 31st, or you can just say December 31st. You don't need the as at part. So that's one problem. We should have titles for current assets, non-current assets, and liabilities. And then we should have subtotals for the current assets and the current liabilities. The non-current assets and liabilities here, we only have one item, so we don't really need to subtotal them. But if you had more than one item, you should subtotal them. We shouldn't use abbreviations for accounts receivable and accounts payable or for anything else. Cash should always be first. So we list things on the balance sheet in order of liquidity, or the assets by order of liquidity. So cash is the most liquid. It should always be first. Sometimes students don't label shareholders' equity, and they don't show the total. So you need to do that. And then students sometimes forget the total at the bottom, or they forget to label the total, that it's total liabilities and shareholders' equity. The other error here that you may have missed, accumulated depreciation is not a liability. It's a contra asset. It reduces the value of an asset, so it belongs on the asset side, and you reduce the value of the equipment by $5,000, and so you get this net equipment number, and that's going to, in this case, it's going to change the totals on both sides of the balance sheet. Now, if we look at the income statement here, can you see any problems with this one? If we take a look here, usually the income statement there's not as much detail and formatting issues, so it's a little easier to present. But we still have some problems with this income statement. So let's take a look. So number one, the date's wrong. Income statements are for a period of time. When we have costs of goods sold, we want to show gross profit, and then we'll show the other income afterwards. And then prepaid expense is an asset. It's not an expense, so that we need to remove that. And then we also want to show income before tax, income tax, and then income after tax. So those are the major problems I tend to see with income statements on midterm exams. Now there is an alternative presentation for the income statement if you want to do the multi-step income statement. So we still have gross profit here, but we don't show interest at the top. We show it later. We show our operating expenses, and then we get a total for operating expenses and operating income. And then we show our other revenues and expenses, or sometimes it's called non-operating income. We would show our other income and our interest, and then we would show income before tax, income tax, and then income after tax. So either way is fine to present, unless I ask you specifically to do the single step approach, which was the first one, or the multi-step income statement, which is this second one. Okay, hope this will help you on your exam.